So we have a first time in New Japan history event occurring at Power Struggle, and pretty much every title I think has been on the line except the US Championship since the end of the G1. So we will talk about those. So overall, what did you think, Trae, of the Power Struggle show plus the title matches in the Road 2, if you happen to check those out?
The Power Struggle I thought was a good show, and if you took out the first match and the last match, it would be a great show. The title match, the Never Six-Man tag title match with Goto and Ishii and Yoshi-Hashi against Dangerous Tekkers and Douki, that match was awesome. Definitely, if you haven't seen that, they went over 30 minutes. I think like 32. It was a really, really strong match. The junior tag title match with it was Desperado and Kanemaru against Hiromu and Bushi. It was fine, another match between them. I don't know. I don't see the purpose in the junior heavyweight tag titles at this point. And the Dangerous Tekkers against Goto and Yoshi-Hashi match was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with you with even really in general, in New Japan right now, their tag division is ridiculously thin. They have no, set tag teams. Guerrillas of Destiny have not been there for a while. But other than that, how many other, set, dedicated tag teams are there in New Japan right now?
See, Dangerous Tekkers, Tenzan and Kojima, who haven't teamed in.
But they're not even. But Dangerous Tekkers aren't even dedicated tag teams.
Okay, that's true. Okay, okay. Well, fucking nobody, I guess. Yeah, man, and a lot of it is the pandemic, and people are they've got teams for the tag league, and it's. New Japan's tag division has been weak for a long time.
Yeah, so that might be something they might want to work on if they want to keep those divisions, or just convert it to a never open weight title.
That's what I keep saying.
Yeah. All right, so welcome everybody to That's Wrestling. Thanks for tuning in. If you're listening, this is a podcast. We do this show live over on YouTube, so be sure to follow the link in the show notes and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can come hang out when we do this show live. Also, there is a Discord you can come hang out with us. That link is in the description as well. And if you have any comments, questions, feedback, you can send those to eric@thatswrestling.com. And if you are new to the channel or the show, we cover basically New Japan and AEW stuff. And if anything happens that's kind of industry wide, we might cover that as well sometimes, but mostly it's just AEW and New Japan at the moment. And give us a review on your podcast app of choice. It really helps out. And with me tonight, I have Trae Wisecarver. I almost forgot your last name for a second. It's been a while.
It has been, man. Finally started to get over that G1 hangover and, trying to get caught up on real life.
And now we get to go into the World Tag League and Best of the Super Juniors alternating nights, except the first night is 10 matches.
Yeah, well, at least that's, Sunday, so
yeah,
that'll be good.
All right, so let's get into this. We're gonna basically bring us up from the end of from after the G1 up through Power Struggle. Here, we're going to cover at least the important matches. So on October 23rd in Korakuen Hall, we had the Never Openweight 6-man Tag Team Championship on the line, and that was Taichi, Zack Sabre Jr. and Douki, so a Suzukigun faction versus Hirooki, Goto, Yoshi-Hashi, and Tomohiro Ishii, who are the current champions, which is a Chaos faction, so sometimes I'll refer to them as Suzukigun and Chaos if it's a bunch of them. So we get into this. Suzukigun actually got a ton of heat on Yoshi-Hashi for the majority of the early part of the match, using plenty of underhanded tactics. Goto is actually no longer using tape on his shoulder, so not sure if that was a completely worked injury or not. I'm guessing it probably was a worked injury for the G1, but Zack Sabre Jr. still tries to work on it anyways, playing into the existing story to that. Ishii and Taichi have a really good high-speed sequence of strikes and various impact moves. Suzuki works on Ishii's injured knee for a bit. Yoshi-Hashi and Douki really are playing up their hatred of each other. Something to do with Mexico. Do you understand this storyline? Can you give us some background?
Kind of. Douki was apparently, he went to Mexico on kind of his own expense, and then who did he get in touch? He got in touch with Milano Collection AT, who put him in touch with Taichi, and then he would be a guy who, when they sent people on excursion to Mexico, he would kind of help the Japanese guys out, and I guess Yoshi-Hashi was one of them, and then he felt insulted that Yoshi-Hashi has said that, one of the keys was, unlearning everything that he learned in Mexico. So apparently that judging from the way Kevin Kelly explained it, that's the source of the static between Yoshi-Hashi and Douki.
Okay, so Douki is a ardent student of lucha, and Yoshi-Hashi is kind of not Yoshi-Hashi. Yeah, Yoshi-Hashi is kind of blowing it off.
Oh, yeah, Yoshi-Hashi is a practitioner of strong style professional wrestling.
Alrighty, so that gets me kind of cleared up here. They actually beat the crap out of each other for quite a long time, and they were pretty much the legal men for the last 10 minutes of this match. There might have been a tag out once in a while, but they were for pretty much straight 10 minutes. Douki actually ends up hitting the De La Luna suplex, but Goto breaks up that pin. Everyone comes in and hits a move, so we have a sextuple down right at the 30-minute mark. So this match went on for a long time. Like I said, Yoshi-Hashi, Douki legal for at least the last 10 minutes. Yoshi-Hashi puts on the butterfly lock. Douki almost rolls up Yoshi-Hashi a couple of times, avoids a few karma attempts. Everybody comes in again. We have a bunch of schmas, and then Goto and Yoshi-Hashi hit a few GYRs on Douki, and then Yoshi-Hashi hits karma and gets the victory. So Chaos continues to hold the 6-man championship. So yeah, solid match. Went 30 plus minutes. I think it's actually closer to 35. I'll have to actually check.
32-25 is what I've got.
Alrighty. But yeah, I thought this was a really good showing. I like for those who didn't, well, I watched some of the rest of the undercard for other shows, and actually they did have a little bit of a callback in this match, going back to their multi-man match they had back at the G1 finals, where the Suzukigun faction laid out Yoshi-Hashi and then laid Douki on top of him to get the pin, which they did back at the G1 finals. So kind of a callback to that spot. So I thought that was a nice little spot right there.
Yeah, and of like the 3 Road to Power Struggle shows, if you're gonna watch one, it's the October 23rd one with the Never 6-man. Cause like just looking at what I wrote about the undercard, that's the best of the 3 shows.
Yeah. Then we move on to November 1st at Korakuen Hall. Were these all at Korakuen Hall? I think all the Road 2 ones.
All at Korakuen, yeah.
Yeah.
All the ones that aired were at Korakuen, yeah.
Yeah. We have the Junior Tag Championship between Hiromu Takahashi and Bushi. So LIJ versus El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Suzukigun. So LIJ versus Suzukigun. Bushi and Hiromu attack right away. Hiromu does some damage by himself to the tag champions, but then he goes for the missile drop kick off the apron to the floor and completely misses it and crashes and burns. So he just takes a no broken fall straight to the mat bump off the apron. So this is not the first time I've seen Hiromu do this. He probably needs to stop doing this to save his bump card a little bit. Bushi and Hiromu get sent into the barricade a few times. Kanemaru and Desperado get the heat on Hiromu for quite a long time. This match was a lot of back and forth, and this actually went pretty long time as well. And getting closer to the end, Bushi eats a spine buster. Desperado tries to lock on the numero dos, but can't. Bushi fights out of a Pinche Loco attempt, but his knee has been taking a beating throughout the match, so he's limping a bit. Bushi hits a Rana off the top, and then a Destroyer for a 2, and then Desperado pulls the ref in front of Bushi, and he ends up getting hit with a flying knee from Bushi off the top rope. Desperado grabs one of the title belts, and right before he's about to hit Bushi with it, Marty Asami runs in, takes the belt away. Desperado reverses a code breaker and puts on numero dos. Hiromu has to break that up, and then Hiromu and Bushi hit a double face buster. Kanemaru breaks up the pin there. Hiromu and Kanemaru fight on the outside, and Desperado catches Bushi going for the MX and hits the Pinche Loco, and Desperado and Kanemaru retain the tag titles.
Yeah, and it was good. They went like a little over 28 minutes, and all I have is the finish, and Desperado over Bushi with Pinche Loco.
Yeah, the spot where Bushi went for the MX and Red Shoes took the jumping knee to the face. I don't think I've seen that one happen too. That's a bigger spot that he usually doesn't take such of a shot to. This is like one of those times where the ref should go down. Instead of being like, if you flick them with your finger, they like fly out of the ring and pretend that they just got shot with a .50 caliber. So that was that match. So retaining the titles there. So the 6-man and the junior tag titles stay the same. And then on November 2nd, also at Korakuen Hall, we had the heavyweight tag titles. Yoshi-Hashi and Goto, who are part of the 6-man tag champions, versus Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. So again, Chaos versus Suzukigun. Yoshi-Hashi actually challenged for the tag titles after defending the never openweight 6-man titles against Taichi, Zack, plus Douki, the match we just talked about. So that's where this challenge came in. Yoshi-Hashi gets the better of Zack in their first exchange. Goto gets tagged in, but on the outside, Yoshi-Hashi is sent into the barricade. Taichi tries to help Zack, but Goto actually ends up taking them both out. Dangerous Techers come back with plenty of cheating, get the heat on Goto. At around the 25-minute call, Yoshi-Hashi hits Zack with a headhunter, then goes up top, hits a swanton on Taichi for a 2, puts on the butterfly lock, and then Zack comes in and kicks Yoshi-Hashi a bunch of times, but he refuses to let go of the butterfly lock, and then he adds in... You have something about that?
That was awesome.
That was awesome. He just like posted up and just like took kick after kick after kick. He's like, yep, you're gonna have to do better than that. He then Goto comes in to help out Yoshi-Hashi, adds in a hammer lock as well into the butterfly lock, so it's like a half butterfly, half hammer lock at this point. Taichi struggles, and Yoshi-Hashi pulls him back into the middle, puts on a rear naked choke. Taichi grabs the ref, which makes him turn a little bit, and then we get a kick to the balls of Yoshi-Hashi for a almost 3 count. It was very, very close. Goto runs in and takes out Zack, but Taichi hits him in the head, and then everyone is down at this point. And as Yoshi-Hashi and Taichi get to their feet, they have a striking exchange. Yoshi-Hashi throws forearms while Taichi throws kicks, and this occurs at the 30-minute mark. Yoshi-Hashi gains the upper hand. Zack Sabre Jr. comes in. Goto does as well. Both of them end up taking themselves out, and Taichi avoids karma. Zack Sabre Jr. runs in. He just had enough and hits. They hit Zack Mephisto and get the 3. So Dangerous Techers retain their heavyweight tag titles. And then kind of the story out of this, Yano runs in after the match and he undoes all the turnbuckle pads and then challenges Zack to make their KOPW match at Power Struggle, a no turnbuckle match as well, and Zack accepts.
Yeah, they were like 35 minutes, and this was really good. Yeah, and then
I liked this match a lot better than the last match they had with Tanahashi and Ibushi, where they were doing some cheating, but they were at least pulling the ref when that happened instead of basically double teaming for like the last 5 minutes of the match with no ref interference. And then we go on to Power Struggle, which was November 7th, 2020. I did not know that English commentary was going to be live for this one. So that's why I ended up pushing the show this late, because I thought I was going to have to wait until yesterday to watch it.
I watched it. I watched like all the way up until the semi-main live, and my stream started being weird, so I went to bed and finished it the next day.
That's funny. Actually, here's a really strange thing with New Japan World. If you happen to use a VPN and you VPN into a Japanese server and then go to New Japan World, it seems to run better, which is kind of weird.
I'll have to try that.
We start off the show with the match we just talked about, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Toru Yano for the King of Pro Wrestling provisional title in a no turnbuckle match. So the four corners are removed on turnbuckle pads, and in the beginning, of course, this backfires on Yano pretty much immediately. He gets run into all four exposed corners, and then Yano rolls out of the ring, grabs a turnbuckle pad from underneath the ring, and tries to actually start putting it back on. Zack attempts a bunch of submissions, and then Yano grabs another corner pad, and this time he uses tape and tapes it on to the turnbuckle. So he reverses an Irish whip, and Zack ends up going into the padded turnbuckle, and everybody shares a laugh at this point.
The Zack's look. That was so funny.
That was a really good one. Of course, Yano on the outside sprays Zack with the hand sanitizer in the eyes at one point. Yano hits a belly-to-belly suplex, and then Yano tries some roll-ups. Zack tries one of his own, puts on a knee bar, and this kind of turns into the rest of the story of the match. They fight over position, trying to heel hook each other and put on knee bars. Yano gets the ropes. They move to the outside, and then Zack Sabre Jr. puts on the knee bar onto Yano through the barricade, but unbeknownst to him, Yano has tied his shoes together so he can't get out, and when he tries to stand up, he is tied through the barricade, and Yano ends up getting the 20 count victory here.
Yeah, this was silly, but I like the finish. The finish was creative, and then they cut Zack's laces after the match, and he goes after one of the young boys with scissors, and Rocky drops a Sid Vicious and Arn Anderson reference, and then Kevin Kelly laughs and says, "You stole my line."
Yeah, that was, I like the finish. I like how they did it, because there was plenty of times throughout the G1 Yano was trying to use the barricade and kept backfiring on him because people could slip through the barricade. Even Yano slipped through the barricade at one point. But this one's, he's like, I'm going to tie him to the post. There's no way he's going to be able to get out this time. And I thought it was pretty fun. And I was like, Zack kept trying to pull on it and stuff and was jumping. I'm like, oh, he's going to end up breaking the laces and end up like destroying the gimmick here. But nope, those things did not come untied. Those were knotted up well. So they had to, like you said, I think they tried to undo the knot, but they couldn't do it. So they had to get some scissors and undo the laces. So that's pretty funny. So I thought it was an entertaining match.
Was Yano a Boy Scout? Do we know?
Right.
He's very effective at tying knots.
Yeah, I thought this was a fun match. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but I thought it was entertaining.
I mean, it was a comedy match. It's a Yano match. It was fine.
Next up, we have another match: Shingo Takagi versus Minoru Suzuki over the Never Openweight Championship. Plus, they had their one at the G1 as well. This match went as about you would think. They beat the crap out of each other. Shingo actually has tape on his back, so that becomes a target for Suzuki. They start off with exchanging of strikes. On the outside, Suzuki works the back with a barricade, then a chair shot to the back. Shingo makes a comeback with some suplexes and hits a dragon elbow off the top rope, which I have not seen him do ever in New Japan. So that was a first for me. Was it for you? They go back to beating the crap out of each other. They start no-selling each other's moves. They hit like 3 or 4 moves on each other, and then both of them stand up and like they're like, put up your dukes, and they both collapse. Shingo then, once they finally get to their feet, hits Made in Japan, but goes for Made in Japan, but his back gives out. And then they go back to beating each other. Suzuki puts on the Boston Crab to work the back, and of course send a message of it's considered. What was that?
It's a young boy hold.
Yeah, it's a young boy hold, so it's a disrespect, a sign of disrespect. Shingo ends up making it to the rope. Suzuki puts on the rear naked choke, but Shingo avoids the gotch pile driver, but collapses when he tries to backdrop Suzuki. Back to striking the crap out of each other. Finally, Suzuki goes down, and then Shingo pulls him up, hits last of the dragon, and gets the victory, and is once again the new never open weight champion. This match I thought was great.
This is awesome and violent and intense. At that point where Takagi got out of the gotch pile driver and hurt his back, apparently something happened and Suzuki might have had a concussion there, and I didn't even notice, and I haven't heard any follow-up. Do you hear anything about that? I mean, I didn't. Maybe it was, it was like 3 a.m. and I was sleepy, so maybe that's why I didn't notice. But yeah, I thought this match was awesome too. And Shingo is going into Wrestle Kingdom with the Never title, so presumably we will get a Shingo singles match at one of those 2 Tokyo Dome shows this year. It'll be better.
I'm curious where they go with this. I mean, this is the 4th match with Suzuki this year. 3 of them being over the Never Openweight Championship, and then 1 at the G1.
2 over the Never title, and then the G1.
Okay, so 3 of them. So yeah, I don't know where they go from here. Do they continue on Shingo and Suzuki at Wrestle Kingdom?
I don't think so. I think it'll be somebody else. And I think I had someone in my head at one point, and I don't have it now. And I don't. But it's Shingo. Whatever it does, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I guess we'd have to look at who beat him in the G1 to try to figure out who might be on the list, the short list of people to go. But pretty much his entire block beat him. I think he only got 6 points. Next up, we have Kazuchika Okada versus the Great Okan. This match was kind of disappointing. Will Ospreay comes out dressed in a suit and glasses. He's looking like a total nerd out here. He's carrying a bottle of champagne as well. You want to comment on that? You look like you want to say something.
I just wrote Ospreay looking proper fancy at ringside in his suit, sipping his champagne.
Then we have Khan attacks basically as Okada's being introduced. Here's a note that I wrote. Can Khan stop screaming like a little girl when he hits moves?
I wrote, I was not into this for the first 9 minutes, and then Great Okan started doing these screaming Mongolian chops, and it was so absurd that it finally started to hit for me.
Khan actually gets in a ton of offense, like way too much offense going against Okada. Okada finally hits the backpack neck breaker, but then Khan ends up taking over again. And then here's another note I made. His offense is really blah. Like, he looks so bored. Like, he looks like he's not even in a fight, and he's just doing stuff. Okada hits a spinning Rakemaker, puts on the money clip, and chokes out the Great Okan, so he wins by referee stoppage.
Like the last 3 or 4 minutes of this, the rest of it, it didn't do anything for me bad. Great Okan, we've had two guys come back from excursion this year, and neither of them has been an Okada or a Jay White or even a Roppongi 3K. And I think, based on a personal level, I think I will take Master Wado over the Great Okada.
Yeah, I would too. But do you agree that he looks bored out there?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't thought of it in those terms, but that's as good a way as I can think of to put it.
Ospreay grabs the mic, or gets in the ring, grabs the mic, and says, "Okada, you've passed my test." He says that he was actually using Okada and to become more popular, and now everybody knows the name Will Ospreay. But there's one title I can't get by standing side by side with you, and that's best wrestler in the world. Says since leaving Chaos, he's wearing a 3,000-pound suit, drinking 2,000-pound champagne, and is wearing a 10,000-pound watch. And you know what? I'm gonna make myself even more famous by ending your career. He after that, he'll never have to worry about these suits. I can buy more, and nothing would make me more happy than to do it at Wrestle Kingdom. And then Okada gets the mic and says, "I have no idea what you just said, but the only thing I understood was I heard Wrestle Kingdom and Okada versus Ospreay, and that's all I needed to hear."
Yeah, and I think Okada actually speaks English pretty well. I think he might have been trolling a little bit.
Yes, he does. I've seen him on on American talk shows when they were over here in the US, and he speaks English just fine.
Yeah, I thought so. And that's night one of Wrestle Kingdom. Okada versus Ospreay.
Yes, that has been scheduled already, so we have that. Next up, we have Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kenta, and this is for the IWGP US title match contract that Kenta won at the J Cup USA. I believe that's what
New Japan Cup USA.
New Japan Cup USA. Kenta actually keeps messing with Tanahashi's hair to begin with, which I thought was pretty funny. He messes up his hair 3 times. Tanahashi hits a crossbody to the outside. Kenta grabs the briefcase and hits Tanahashi when he reaches out through the ropes, so he puts a dent in the other side of the briefcase now, so there's a crack on both sides now, both from Tanahashi's head. This turns the tide in Kenta's favor. He hits a bunch of strikes, knee drops, neck breaker, elbow drops. Tanahashi turns it around with a dragon screw and then a flying forearm, somersault senton. He landed full weight on Kenta on that somersault senton. Usually he gets his upper body and then his lower back and butt hit the mat. No, his entire body stopped with Kenta's body. So ouch on that. Kenta struggles to the ropes to avoid a clover leaf. Kenta hits the swinging over the top rope hanging neck snap, or whatever you want to call it. They haven't given that a name. They need to give that a name so I stop after describing it. Flying clothesline, power slam for 2. Tanahashi kicks out of another pin later on so hard that Kenta goes flying into the ref and he gets knocked out of the ring. Kenta grabs the briefcase. Tanahashi puts his hands up to block it and they fight over the briefcase. The ref comes in trying to break it up, and in the melee, the briefcase hits Kenta in the head. Tanahashi's blaming the ref. The ref is blaming Tanahashi for the illegal strike, but he takes the briefcase and gets it out of the ring. Kenta and Tanahashi clothesline each other for a double down. Kenta hits a draping DDT once they get back up. Hits a running boot in the corner, basement drop kick. Hits a wicked double stomp, so a little bit of a receipt there for the full-weighted senton. He did pretty much a full-weighted double stomp on him. Kenta slaps the crap out of Tanahashi, hits a Shining Wizard, goes for a GTS. Tanahashi turns that into 3 twists and shouts. He also reverses another GTS into a half sling blade, then hits a proper sling blade for 2. Hits aces high. Tanahashi puts on the cloverleaf. Kenta reverses it into game over, but he can't get it locked in quite well. Tanahashi rolls out, tries the cloverleaf again. Kenta goes right back to game over with a better position, and Kenta submits Tanahashi and retains the U.S. Championship contract.
Yeah, the decline of Hiroshi Tanahashi continues, and so I have an idea, and this is just me spitballing. Okay, he's no longer at the level of the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, or of the Tag Championship, or of the G1, or of the interim U.S. title. What if Tanahashi goes for the Never title? Tanahashi and Shingo.
I'd like to. That would actually be good. Have they had a match yet together?
I don't think so. I don't think they have been in the same block in either of the G1s.
That or in the New Japan Cup either. So yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah, Tanahashi in the never open weight division. That could be interesting, and especially as he gets older, he's going to need to change his style into more of that striking style anyways. So, and less flying around to save his knees. So it would kind of make sense to put him in the, as they were calling it, the BMF championship division.
Which I've been calling it that for a long time, to be fair.
So yeah, I could see that happen. That'd be interesting. I'd love to see some matches, him and Ishii, of course, him and Suzuki, even though there have been plenty of them. I'd still like to see more.
Well, yeah, always, but he's still really good. It's just kind of in a different way now. And it's like, on one hand, it's kind of sad to watch, but on the other hand, it's kind of a beautiful long-term story, because usually you don't think of the decline as part of the story, but that's what it's been for the past couple of years, that Tanahashi's moving out of that top star status and into the legend status, but he can't quite hang with the top talent anymore, and that's just part of it.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed with New Japan, at least for the stars that stay in New Japan, they can still do quite well during their decline. I mean, you still have guys that you see plenty of, even though that they were at the top and now they are no longer. And it's not that it's even sad to see them, because a lot of the times they are doing matches with like the Young Lions and whatnot, so they're being in that mentor position. They're not getting completely, they're obviously never going to eat a pin during any of those matches anyways, right. So we have guys like Tenzan and
Kojima, Nagata.
Exactly. Like Nagata still looks great, and he comes out there, does, mentors the Young Lions and has some matches with them. And it's not like sad to see them. It's like, I like seeing them, but it doesn't make sense for them to be going against the top guys anymore.
Yeah. And, every now and then, like Nagata getting, a couple of big singles matches, he had that great match with Minoru Suzuki in the New Japan Cup, and then, went on to lose to Okada, and then they had that rematch that was the main event of Korakuen Hall. There's still places to feature them. I loved when Nagata had that little run with the Never title a couple of years ago. That was awesome. But more of that, man. Put the old guys in with the young badass guys in the Never division and just let them fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a good use for them while they're kind of on their decline. That'd be fun. Next up, we have Jay White versus Coda Abushi, and they are fighting for the G1 contract for the heavyweight and intercontinental championship match at Wrestle Kingdom. Jay, of course, powders right away. He grabs the briefcase, walks around with it, and then back in the ring, he tosses it to Ibushi and then punches the briefcase into his face. Lots of back and forth until White takes control for a while. White runs Ibushi into the barricade on the outside a few times. Behind the ref's back, Goto gets in on the action and sends Coda into the barricade. White comes over to join the fun, but Gato ends up getting sent into the barricade. Did I say Goto? earlier. Gato. I meant Gato the whole time I said Goto. Ibushi hits a really nice drop kick to Jay White, who was on the apron, and he does a over-the-top rope cross body to the floor. Kicks in a standing moonsault back in the ring for a 2. White makes a comeback with a bunch of busters, a gut buster, a face buster, and then a blade buster, all in a row. They exchange a few strikes. German suplex from Coda. White hits a flatliner, then a deadlift German. Coda Abushi landed right on his head from that German suplex, like not even like close to landing high on his shoulders. Then hits a Uranagi. White buries a bunch of shots into the gut of Bushi. Bushi hits a desperation bastard driver, but can't follow up as they are both collapsed on the mat. He goes for a Bomaye, but misses, but still gets a dragon suplex and then a buzzsaw kick. Bushi goes for a Kamigoye, but White buries his shoulder into his stomach 3 times. Bushi finally does hit the Bomaye, hits a last ride for a 2 count. They do some counters for each other, of each other's stuff. Then Gato causes a distraction, but doesn't really work. Ibushi hits a V-trigger, but White, as Ibushi's trying for a Kamigoye, White reverses that into a backslide, gets his feet up onto the ropes for leverage, and gets the victory over Kota Ibushi. So the first time in New Japan history of 16 matches that the briefcase has been up for grabs, it has changed hands.
Yeah, man. So these two have just amazing in-ring chemistry because it is the quintessential heel versus the quintessential babyface. It is the perfect matchup. I'm always a little bit disappointed in their matches because the first match that they had, the G1 final last year, was like one of the best matches I've ever seen. But they had, the Tokyo Dome and the G1 and all excellent matches and will continue to be excellent, man. Ibushi selling the shock and disappointment of the finish was beautiful, as was Kevin Kelly just screaming, "God damn it!"
Yeah. Damn it all to hell, I think I heard as well. God damn it all to hell.
That was what everything about this was great, and it'll segue into the next match, and this is great shit here.
Yeah, I thought this was a solid match. I mean, these two pretty much are always going to have good matches against each other. And I thought it was a clever way to do the finish. Of course, Jay White is going to completely use underhanded tactics. And he didn't just have his feet on the bottom ropes. Nope, he had them on was it the second or was it the
middle rope? I think it was the middle rope. Yeah.
So he had a little high. It's not like the one getting on just the bottom rope. Nope, he had it on the middle rope. He was at like a 45-degree angle on that pin attempt, and the ref was in perfect position. So he was to the side and looking away from the ropes to see the shoulders, so it would have been out of his eye line as well. So good on everybody to make it work correctly as well.
Yeah, this finish was perfect.
Then the final match of the evening, I actually wrote a ton, so I will jump through some of it here. Evil with Dick Togo at ringside versus Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championship. Naito goes into a very technical beginning, using holds, doing some kind of chain and mat wrestling. Of course, they end up going to the outside, and Evil sends Naito into the barricade so hard that the timekeeper's desk went into the timekeeper, and he's like propelled into the first row through the barricade that was behind him. So that was entertaining. Dick Togo removes a corner pad while this is going on. They fight back into the ring and then back to the outside again. Evil sends Naito into the barricade again and wipes out the timekeeper again, sending him into pretty much the first row. And while the ref is looking over that situation with Evil and the timekeeper, back in the ring, Dick Togo runs in with a chair and hits Naito across the back with it. Naito mounts a little bit of a comeback, which includes giving Togo a baseball slide drop kick on the outside. He hits the sweep and the wrecking ball drop kick on Evil. Togo distracts the ref. Naito can't let it go, and he releases the crucifix that he had on Evil. And this just causes more distractions on the outside. Evil wraps the chair around Naito's neck and hits it with another one. I think Evil needs to come up with some more cheating spots. Like, I'd rather see him do some basic eye pokes and closed fists for heel heat than some of these spots that he uses over and over, because at least the eye pokes and stuff you can intersperse throughout the match, where this you have to come up with a whole like reason for it to happen and a whole like setup, and now it's just getting repetitive at this point. Naito hits a swinging DDT in the ring on Evil, and then Naito gets sent into the exposed turnbuckle, eats a backbreaker suplex, and Evil puts on the Scorpion Deathlock. They hold this for quite a while, and they've been going pretty much balls to the walls for quite a while, so they need a little bit of a break. And this happens just shy of the 20-minute mark, and Evil hits Darkness Falls for 2. Naito comes back with a Super Rana hit, and then hits Gloria, and then Naito hits a Destino, or goes for a Destino. Evil counters it with a released German. Togo gets hit with a forearm off the apron. Naito hits a Destino twice, and Dick Togo pulls the ref out. Why isn't this an immediate DQ? I don't know. This is the second time that they have done this spot. Togo comes in, chokes Naito with a garrote. Yujiro runs out with his cane, hits Naito with it, hits Pimp Juice. Sonata runs out looking like he just came off of a catamaran, and hits Togo and Yujiro and literally carries them out of the arena. So they are gone.
Shoulder, and he's pulling Yujiro along in a headlock.
Yep. Eventually, both guys get up, have a striking exchange. Evil catches a kick and throws, instead of doing the spot where he tosses it over to the ref so he can give a thrust kick, he throws Naito's leg into the ref, which takes him out again. Evil hits a low blow. Naito returns the favor with a pop-up kick to the balls. Jay White then makes his way down to the ring while both men are down, and he picks up Evil and puts him in the Blade Runner position, and then moves him over to the corner, and he says, "Is this what you want? Is this what you want?" And then he goes over to Naito, hits a dragon suplex. Coda Abushi runs out to try to attack Jay White, but he rolls out of the ring, and Evil attacks Abushi from behind. So Abushi hits Evil with a head kick, and this happens at the 30-minute mark. The ref crawls back into the ring. Naito hits a few sets of pull-in elbows. Naito gets run into the exposed turnbuckle, but he powers through it and runs Evil into it. Hits some bunch more elbow shots. Naito gets pushed towards the ref, and he ducks. Evil hits another low blow and a lariat for 2. They strike. Naito ends up hitting Valentia, and then hits a Destino and gets the 3 count. So a lot of schmoz throughout this entire match. Getting a little old for my tastes, but I'm hoping this is the last Evil Naito match that we're going to see for quite some time.
The Naito Evil matches that I've seen this year, this one was the most recent. It felt long. They did all of their shit again, chairs and distractions and Dick Togo and all of the bullshit that I'm sick to death of. Best part of the match was 2 different times when Kevin Kelly tried to yell Destino and his mic just died. This match did not need to go 33 minutes. In fact, I wrote, when you said the 30-minute call, what I wrote here is, we're past 30 and this goddamn match is still going on.
Right?
And I wrote here, I sincerely hope that I never see another Evil Naito match, but I'm certain I will.
Hopefully it's at least, hopefully we get like a year of none of them.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's basically what it was. It was pretty much all their other matches that you've seen already, and just with a little bit more schmoz and more interference, adding in Jay White and Coda Abushi to the mix here. After the match is over, Jay White is still out there. He grabs the mic and runs his mouth like he always does. Basically says everyone's failed to take him down. Says he's going to take the first night of Wrestle Kingdom off because he wants the shot on night 2. Bushi comes out. White keeps talking, says Bushi has nothing because I now have the briefcase. And that was kind of about it. I think he also told, so Naito, you can choose whoever you want for the first night. You can choose a young lion to take on and destroy him. I don't care, but I'm taking the first night off.
And then Ibushi came out looking murderous, and White ran away wanting nothing more to do with him.
Yeah.
But before we talk about what this set up, Naito teased a big announcement about something in Osaka. So my guess is, not sure if it'll be the New Beginning, but I think it'll be Dominion. Dominion 2021, New Japan will return to the Osaka Dome, is my prediction.
Okay. Well, then there was a press conference the next day. Do you know about all this fun stuff?
Yes. That's
okay.
What I was ready to.
So this is where. So basically, the biggest thing out of this show was Jay White getting the contract from Kota Ibushi. And then after the press conference the next day, completely negates the point of that match. This is driving me nuts how this happened, because at the press conference, Naito gives Ibushi the title match on the 4th. So it's like he lost the contract, but he's still getting his title match anyways. I mean, there's other ways to get to this with Jay White getting the shot on the second night than to take the contract and just give Ibushi the match anyways.
I have heard people complain about this. I like this fine. It's kind of funny that Jay White told Naito, you can do whatever you want on night 1. So Naito, probably does the thing that Jay White would least want him to do. So I'm guessing that night 1 will be Ibushi taking the title from Naito, and then night 2 will be Ibushi getting vengeance and defending the title against Jay White. And that main event at the Tokyo Dome, that may be the one that finally equals or exceeds the 2019 G1 final.
Yeah, how they're getting to this, I guess that would make more sense, I guess, now, because he needs vengeance of some kind. But it was kind of weird just how they set it up. It felt a little flat by doing it as a press conference instead of doing something in the ring that would kind of bring about Naito wanting to challenge Ibushi, or something else with Naito and Jay White to give Naito more of a reason to put Ibushi in there. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I was fine with that part of it,
I mean, I'm not against the matches happening. It's just kind of how they got there was a little convoluted for me here.
Fair enough.
So overall, I think you like Power Struggle. There was some down spots, but for the most part, it's pretty good.
Yeah, sick to death of Naito and Evil. The first match was silly. The Great Okan is, hopefully that's going to be the extent of his singles push. But yeah, good show.
So now we're going into basically another G1 series of shows here. So we have the World Tag League and Best of the Super Juniors are going to be running side by side, parallel to each other, but both are only going to have one block. So we have 10 teams in the tag league, and then 10 singles in the juniors. So let's just talk about some of these teams. We have Yano and Ishii tagging up. We have Chase Owens, Bad Luck Fale tagging up. We have Okan versus a to be determined We have Hanare. Is he? Oh, yeah, Hanare. We haven't seen him for quite a while, have we?
We have not seen him in a while.
Hanare is teaming up with Tanahashi. Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi, of course, are together. Yoshi-Hashi and Goto, of course, are together. And then we have Sanada and Shingo Takagi as a team. That's going to be a fun one to watch.
That got my attention.
Yes.
Shingo and Sanada.
That's going to be a good one. Yujiro and Evil are teaming up. They're probably not going to go anywhere. We have Finn Juice coming back to defend their World Tag League title from last year. And we also have Gorillas of Destiny coming back to the Japanese soil.
The tag team many years ago of Yujiro and Tetsuya Naito was called No Limit. So I'm proposing that we call Evil and Yujiro Limited.
Yeah, it is going to be limited because they are not going to get very far in the block, I don't think.
But I do appreciate that their bond is that they both notoriously fucked over Tetsuya Naito.
Yeah, so some of the teams that I'm really looking forward to, of course, Finjuice and God coming back. Good to see there. And of course, Sanada, Shingo Takagi. That is a team that I could see going all the way in this one.
That would be my pick if I was booking this, because that sounds awesome.
Then we also have, interesting that we have, let's see, 2 teams from Chaos and 2 teams from Bullet Club as well. So we're going to have some inter-faction matches happening as well. So those are going to be interesting to see how those play out. Bad Luck Fale, we have not seen him since the pandemic started, so we'll be seeing him back as well. Then over on the Super Junior side, we have 10 guys. We got Robbie Eagles coming back, so good to see him. Looking forward to that. Douki is also in the tournament. Sho is going to continue on in his singles run. I would probably put him near the favorites list on that, I think. Bushi is in it, Kanemaru, Master Wado, then Desperado, Taguchi, and of course the champion Taiji Ishimori and Hiromu Takahashi are also going to be in the tournament as well. And they're actually facing off on night.
What's your guess for the final for Best of the Super Junior?
I'm gonna most of the time they rarely put the champion in the final, so normally I would put Taiji Ishimori at the end. So I'm thinking, looking at this list, Sho versus Hiromu.
God, you stole. I agree. I also think it's going to be Sho versus Hiromu, and Hiromu wins and avenges his Jingu Stadium loss at the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, as far as the finals for World Tag League, I'm going to go Sanada, Shingo Takagi, and Finjuice.
Having to scroll up because these are like a million miles apart on the page I'm looking on. For Tag League, because often they will put the champions in the final of Tag League, so I am going to pick Shingo and Sanada over Dangerous Tekkers.
All right, so it should be an interesting one. Hopefully they actually started getting into a very good rhythm on getting the English up within 36 hours or so at the end of the G1. So hopefully they maintain that pace on getting that up. I don't know if Kevin Kelly is going to have a partner for these or not, or some of them that are just going to be solo. So I guess we'll see. I always enjoy having Rocky on there, so see how that comes out. Anything else you want to touch on as far as New Japan before we wrap it up this evening? I mean, we'll probably be back next Tuesday. Probably. We will see.
Yeah, no, I think we covered it all. This was a nice easy couple of weeks after that brutal G1, and now we're gonna go. I don't think I hope this won't be as brutal as G1, but
yeah,
we'll see.
It is a lot of shows. A lot of them they're only having the 5 matches without even an undercard on a couple of them. But I think any of the ones that do have the undercard, you can probably just skip because they're going to be like a multi-man tag or something like that. I believe night 1 does not have live English, so it actually might be a little later than Tuesday once we finally get to it.
Oh my god. The undercard match is the same on like most of these shows. It's Nagata, Kojima, and Honma against Tsuji, Uemura, and Kid.
Yeah. So probably won't need to. Then we will have live English for the last 2 nights, and from what I heard, they are having people come out before Christmas to quarantine. So Kevin Kelly will be in Japan for Wrestle Kingdom.
Well,
so they are asking people to come out before Christmas, so I'm curious if that will include Jon Moxley so he can defend the US championship as well. That would require him to miss a couple. Well, they'll probably film a couple to put in the can anyways. They might film like 3 weeks of TV anyways, so he might not have to worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know. It might happen. I'm gonna say tentatively that I would be surprised if it happened, but it could happen. And yeah, I'd love to see Jon Moxley against Kenta.
Yeah, because let's see. If it was on the so he'd have to get there by like the 22nd to quarantine for the full 2 weeks before they let him out. So yeah, to make it for January 5th. We will see. I'm hoping that happens. It's going to be a bit strange, though, because it's going to be pretty much impossible for them to come to agreement to allow him to drop the titles while he is the AEW champion. So either Kenny Omega has to take it off of him before that happens, or but I don't think that match is happening till February.
I think, and did you guys do a Full Gear show? I think I was going to be on that, and then we just forgot. My guess would be, because it's a long time till February, I think on a big episode of Dynamite, maybe like the New Year's Dynamite, and that would preclude Jon Moxley from going to Japan. But the New Year's Dynamite, I am guessing that is when they will do Mox versus Omega, and they'll do like the TV time limit thing and give them like 30 minutes, but then they'll go over the 30 and the time will run out, and then they'll have the longer time limit at the pay-per-view. Maybe that's just me guessing.
Maybe, because there is precedent though for title matches that it is going to be 60 minutes regardless if TV time is less. They've said that in the past.
That is confusing, and I think they need to be more consistent about that. Because like the match on the buy-in with Serena Deeb and whoever it was she wrestled for the NWA Women's title, that they announced it as a 60-minute time limit, and I'm looking at pay-per-view starts in 20 minutes.
Right. I believe they said, if it goes past the end of TV, then they will put the match on their. You'll be able to find the rest of the match on their YouTube channel. That's what they've said in the past when they've done title matches at the end of shows.
They can always unsay it.
Yeah, they can. So I guess we'll see. AEW did announce though that their January show somewhere in the middle is going to be called Beach Break. So I'm guessing that's going to be their big show and not the New Year's show. Well, it'll be the closest to New Year's they can get is either December 30th or the 6th of January. So,
okay, so the 6th is probably the Beach Break show then, right? Or is it the next week? It doesn't matter.
Maybe I'd have to check the thing, but I think it's probably middle of it. But I guess we will see. So yeah, it's all up in the air. We will see. I wonder when we'll actually find out if Moxley is going or not. Probably find out somewhere around December 12th or so, after the Super J Cup happens.
Yeah, when they announced the card for the Tokyo Dome, probably the day after Tag League and Super Junior wrap up.
Yeah, we have Super J Cup on that next night on the 12th. That's a US based show, so it's actually going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern. But Yeah, so I think that's probably when we'll find out the full Wrestle Kingdom card, and there'll probably be no shows between then and Wrestle Kingdom.
That's Super J-Cup, man. Clark Connors against Chris Bay. It's a good match. ACH against TJP. Ray Horus against Blake Christian. Blake Christian has looked good on these NJPW Strong shows. And El Phantasmo versus Leo Rush.
Yeah, good to see ELP again. I haven't seen him for quite a while.
Yeah, and Leo Rush making his New Japan debut. That's pretty cool.
Anything else you want to touch before we wrap it up here?
Nah, man, that'll get it for me.
All right, cool. So thanks everybody for tuning into That's Wrestling. Be sure to tune in on Thursday evenings for the post AEW Dynamite shows at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you want to send us comments, questions, feedback, you can send those to Eric at that'swrestling.com. You can follow us on Twitter. That's Wrestling1 with the number 1 at the end. Also, give us a review in your podcast app of choice, and there is a Discord. You can come hang out with us as well. If you're listening to this as a podcast, head over to the YouTube channel because we do this show live, and especially for New Japan stuff, it's moving around all the time. Unfortunately, we're a bit late because my computer decided it wanted to install like an entire update for like 45 minutes when it should have only taken like 10. But yeah. So,
we have breaking news. AEW announces console video game and 2 mobile games. So that is what the AEW Games announcement was. So awesome. Yeah, finish this and go check that out.
Yeah, I also heard there might be a card game coming as well. Let's see.
Would not surprise me.
So thanks for tuning in, everybody. For Trae Wisecarver, my name is Eric LaRoche, and you've been watching and listening to That's Wrestling. See you later, guys.
Bye, y'all.